Hi, it's good to be here. Thank you for the organizers for putting in a great show the last 2 days. I think the talks so far have been really inspirational, so I've definitely learned a lot. So my name is Indrek. I am the co-founder of AlphaBlues. And what I'll do today is I'll talk about how we have deployed AI in the real world. I'll share the use case we have done with La Telecom, a telecom company in the Baltics. But before that, I'll briefly go through who we are, what we have done, and then talk about the use case, so you would understand the journey we have been doing. So we are a startup company from Estonia, and our focus is building an AI product for customer service automation. Actually, the team came together a few years ago because we really dislike stupid work or boring work, right? And we saw that machine learning was something that can help liberate us from these types of things. And we thought, okay, where could we do it? And by looking at the different fields, we found our way to customer service. And we've assembled a team of both machine learning people and product people and sales people. So the first nugget of my presentation is that if you are doing an AI startup, you should actually have a combination of technical and non-technical people on your team. And when we started out, then machine intelligence, it's everywhere. It's in basic technology, it's in image recognition, it's in voice, it's in insurance. It's essentially everywhere, right? And when we looked at this space, we thought, okay, so where can we actually have impact, right? Where can we contribute with our solution to help customers? And so one of the big things is, how do we understand each other, right? So when I'm speaking here, you're listening, or maybe not. Maybe you're on your phone or checking your email. Can't blame you, so feel free to do that. But how do you comprehend what I'm saying, right? So your brain is processing what I'm saying. Now, when we think that there will be billions of robots in the world, like we heard yesterday, then how will these robots understand us? How do they know what we mean, right? These can be chatbots, things that we're building. These can be voice bots like Alexa or Google Home. This can be our car, right? So when you talk to your Tesla or whatever. And so this is a very interesting and a big challenge because understanding humans for humans is really, really hard, right? Understanding humans for machine is exponentially harder. So it's a great problem to solve at times. And so essentially what we do is we build bots like this. So you put them on your website. Here's my pretty face. And basically you can put their videos, chat, and you can chat with it. So if you want to chat with a bot, you can go to alphablues.com. You can be nice to it and see what it says. But essentially, it helps people find information. And so thus far, how we've been doing is we have deployed it in 8 languages across Europe. And we process more than 150,000 chats per month for our customers. And we work with the finance sector and with telecom companies. So large enterprises that have a lot of customer support and service. So one thing in machine learning, it's important that your solution ingests a lot of data. If you don't have a lot of data, then there's not that much that you can do from it. But so let's switch to the La Telecom. And so the story started, I think there are 2 trends here. So one is that we're all using mobile, right? I think that's a given now. But the second thing is that we're increasingly using all kinds of messenger services, right? So you use WhatsApp, you use Facebook Messenger. And the funny thing in those is that when you text someone, you actually get a reply super fast, like ridiculously fast. You reply to someone and they answer maybe in like 5 minutes, at max like an hour, right? If it's already been 2 hours, you're getting worried about them. It's like, why aren't you answering me, right? When you compare that to email, then 24 hours is fine, 48 hours is fine, right? So what has happened is that people actually have become really, really impatient. Like literally, if they have a problem, it needs to be solved in like right now, literally in seconds. So what we've noticed that it's actually it's better to give people a semi-decent answer in a second than a really good answer in 24 hours. Because in 24 hours, they're not really going to care about your company or the problem anymore because they are doing like a gazillion other things on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And so one of the things we're looking at is how can we bring sort of a closer customer experience between La Telecom and their customers. And so customer service is actually a great field where AI is already being used today. So it's not something like self-driving cars 5, 10, whatever years down the line. It's something that's already used today. And why? Because people actually want to do things on their own and not really call. So when you think of the phone, how much do you call with the phone and how much do you text with the phone, right? It's mostly used for not calling. The same in customer service. You really want to do things on your own time, whether it's 9 a.m. on a Monday or 9 p.m. on a Saturday, right? And also it costs a lot. So there is the economic incentive, because if you have people answering people's calls, then human workforce labor is expensive. So what happened with La Telecom was that they actually, they had this insight, and they are sort of I would say they have very good innovational insight and courage to pursue machine learning, because already more than a year ago, they had a management level goal that we want to automate a certain share of our customer contacts across the board. It came from top down, and then the team started looking for ways to do it. So it was an initiative that came top down, which actually is good because you set a metric. There's a certain metric you want to achieve, and if you are thinking of having machine learning deployed in your own company, start with a business case. So start with one North Star metric that you want to achieve. Is it more sales, less cost, less churn, whatever it is? Set that out, because then you can see sort of what solutions you actually need to use and whether you need to use machine learning at all, right? So you have to pick the right tool for the job. And traditionally, they have had calls and emails. They had introduced chat, and they now wanted to make chat the priority. However, when you put people answering chat in the customer service side, then it's not very efficient, right? So what we did for them is we created a virtual assistant called Annette. That's what she looks like. And all the virtual assistants or chatbots have names. So it actually makes them more like Disney characters, and people actually like talking to characters with faces and names. And so what we started out is we did a pilot. So the first thing, and again, like if you're a company thinking machine learning, then I recommend do something that takes, maximum 3-4 months. Just try it out to see actually if it works for you. So for them, we did a test period last Christmas. We created a bot on their eShop, and the bot helped people to select gifts. So if you want to buy a new TV or an iPad as a gift, then the bot would recommend you, best-selling products or something that you might like. And we actually saw uplift in conversion. So we saw that the bot actually did something that helped them generate more sales. And then from then on, we moved from e-commerce, we moved to regular customer support automation. And then we used that to work with customers who are already authenticated. And then we also built a new product into it to make chat automation even more end-to-end. But the idea of this is that you go in steps, right? So it's not, so Andre from Taxify was showing the slide of the readiness of how companies utilize machine learning today. 50% are scouting, then I think the rest 35% are doing something, and sort of the 10-15% are sort of doing it long-term. So definitely La Telecom belongs into the last category. They have been doing this now for a while, but it takes you steps to get there. So if you want to do something, I recommend to start now, start with something small and actually just try it out, because you only learn by doing. It sounds like a lecture I'm giving, but this is something we've seen from the market. And so how does the AI work? We are a product company, so when we were founded 2 years ago, we said we have to own all the critical components. Sure, we could use APIs from Google or Microsoft. We actually tried them, didn't work as we wanted, and so we created our own. So all the components for the product, the chat window, the conversational interface, the algorithms, the pipelines, the NLP, that's all ours. And so essentially, the way we are approaching how machines understand us is essentially probabilities. It's never 0, it's never 100, it's something in between. So when I'm telling something to Anette or to the bot of Moniz or the bot of Telia, then essentially we have algorithms that are kind of voting. It's kind of like those in Europe know Eurovision, so it's a huge thing apparently. We have won it once. And basically, it's kind of this algorithmic Eurovision where you have 10 algorithms that are competing against one another and trying to give the best guess of what the person wants. Because the biggest hurdle in machines understanding humans is actually knowing what we want. And the difficulty is that we use language in so many different ways, and we ask things in a million different ways. So when I'm going to a bank and I'm asking, where is my salary? Somebody else is asking, where is their money? And some other person is saying, I have 5 euros missing. Then all what they mean is the same thing. How long does it take to get money from one bank to another? But in the real world, nobody asks it that way. So that's why it's hard, like those that have used Siri or Google Assistant, why they don't understand us is that because they don't understand context and the meaning. So the system we've built essentially is taking in a lot of algorithms and sort of making a best estimated guess what it is. There is no single awesome algorithm that works the best. That has been our learning. And so the way we have built this system in La Telecom is that there are 2 products. Whoops. Oh, it went black. There are 2 products. One is the Alpha AI. This is where we have built the chatbots. We have built separate bots for customer support, a separate bot for e-commerce, and a separate bot for authenticated users. And now when users have conversations with the bots, then inevitably people are going to say they want to talk to a human. And that's sort of one of the things we have learned is that you cannot take a human out of the loop. It doesn't make sense because machines today are not so smart that they can just do everything 100%. And then we have another product that's called Alpha Chat, where the chats are forwarded from the bot to the humans. The cool thing is, though, that when you have these 2 things together, then the bot actually can forward conversations to the right agent, the one that has the best skills, the best customer ratings, and also the bot can learn by observing what the agents are writing in Alpha Chat. So you have a system where actually the more the customer service agents use it, the smarter the bot gets. So that's how one of the ways we have automated training. But it's important that you have this fallback mechanism because the AI on its own just doesn't cut it. So some of the lessons we've learned to sum up is that, and I think this can be applied also if you're doing other types of machine learning projects. So you have to pick a use case. So in this case, we knew we wanted to have a virtual assistant. It had to automate a certain percentage of all the customer service requests. If you're doing something in computer vision or fraud, pick a metric that you want to achieve. It makes a lot of sense. In the case of virtual assistants, we had to decide, so where do we launch it? Like you can launch the same thing in Facebook or website or Slack or Skype for Business. We decided to go for the website because of the most traffic. So again, you go for the low-hanging fruits. And currently it's working in Latvian with the option to expand to other languages as well. Again, for the sake of simplicity, we started with that. And I think one of the key things is that with any machine learning project, you want to get the results the fastest as possible. So don't worry about the edge cases. They're always going to be there. Try to think of, let's say in this case, the 20% of topics that give you 80% of volume, right? What are the topics that the humans are most involved with? And how can you actually make most of automating that? And always have humans available. And I think the last point is that if you are working for a big company, then pushing forward these types of new innovative products is sometimes not the easiest. So actually you have to pick like a leadership team, somebody from IT, somebody from customer service or sales or marketing, and a project manager. And then the best thing is if you can get something live and show that we use this algorithm, this is what it did, this is how it helped to achieve something goal, maybe on a small scale, and then it's much easier to find buy-in within the company for bigger projects. So start small, but definitely do start. So with that, I will end 3 minutes ahead of schedule, and that's it. You're welcome.
Beautiful. Champion. 3 minutes ahead. Round of applause for Indrek Vainu.
Thank you.